To what extent do you think that you're referring, of course, to Dodd-Frank, which was passed in 2010, I believe, after the last financial crisis, and then some of those regulations were dialed back during the Trump administration. To what extent did that decision to dial back regulations, especially as they would apply to a mid-sized bank like SVB, to what extent did that contribute to this situation?
Well, I think there was a fundamental premise that was wrong in some of the deregulation by the Federal Reserve and other regulators. I think they basically thought that some of these banks were small. You know, $100 billion, $200 billion bank, we now have a clear fact from last month that it could have caused real wreckage in the banking system and the economy. And this is not a community bank. This is a domestic, systemically important bank, and it needs to be appropriately and robustly regulated and supervised. So, what happened several years ago was that threshold was increased, and the Federal Reserve and others really undermine some of the core ways in which we make sure that these firms have enough cash on hand, can meet depositor demands, that they have enough skin in the game. And it's clear that a lot of that was a mistake. So we will need to take steps to undo that. We also need to look, Lori, at the rules that were never implemented in the first place, such as the 2010s law provisions on looking at executive compensation. There's been a lot of questions we're all getting about what role some of the bonuses and stock options, how they played in. And, people are wondering, are some of the executives of these failed banks able to run away with a big payout, or will they ultimately be held accountable? So there's old rules that need to make sure they see the light of day, and we also need to fix some of the problems that were created in recent years.